Welcome to this new series where we're going to tell you everything you need to know before coming to Thailand as an exchange student. We will cover subjects from visa to culture shock, foods, transportation. Everything you need to know will be discussed. But first, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Xamaica and I'm both from the Netherlands and Thailand.
Right. I'm Mario, I'm from Spain.
And I'm Alex from Germany. I'm very happy to be here.
Yep.
And in this episode, we're going to talk about visa and administrative matters. So the first question is, what type of visa did you apply for your exchange in Thailand and how did you experience that process?
Well, I don't know if it's the same for Alex, but for me, we had to apply for the non-ED type visa, which is like pretty much the student visa that you can apply for in Thailand. The process was, I would say it's not really hard. You can just do it online. You don't have to go to the embassy at all, at least not in my case in Spain. And like when I got the document, I thought I still had more stuff to do because the document is just like a online PDF with a weird QR. Like it doesn't even look like a real document, you know, like what you would expect, but the process wasn't really that hard at all.
For me, it was also very seamless and a very nice experience. I remember that I applied for the visa, I think, about 2 months before traveling to Thailand. And I also got a very structured file with all the documents from the university I needed, like the admission and everything, or the document for the admission and everything. And then I just had to get my flight number, my where I'm gonna stay in Bangkok, and it went very smoothly. And I wouldn't have expected that. And I also didn't have to do anything at the embassy. I also did everything online.
And like, did it take a long time before you received the visa?
I would say for me, it did take maybe like 1 week or 2 weeks. I'm not sure because I was actually a bit stressed because I procrastinated and I waited a little bit too much, you know. So I thought I might not get it before having my flight, but it didn't take long at all. No, I wouldn't say like maybe 2 weeks tops. I don't remember exactly, but I wouldn't say like probably 1 week.
That's really nice. And you also kind of like that, or was it longer?
I'm not 100% sure. I think it was about 6 to 8 weeks.
So that's a bit longer, so 6 to 8 weeks.
But I'm really not sure anymore. But that's the time.
Now that I think it might have been a month. I think no. I think it was like exactly a month. Yeah.
Okay,
definitely.
Okay, so just like when you apply for it, apply like in front. Don't be like last minute.
Yes.
Because it's gonna stress you out, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So the second question is, what are the essential documents you needed to apply for your visa? Well, you kind of already said something about the address you're staying in Thailand, your flight number.
Yeah, I mean, or like the general details the country wants to know from you when you arrive here. I'm also not 1000% sure again, but I think it was like my flight, when I'm going to arrive, where I'm going to stay, where I'm going to study. But all of those things were things you basically always have available, very last moment, short notice. So I didn't have to prepare anything beforehand. I only had to copy my passport and all the other documents I also got from the Chulalongkorn University.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty much all the information that both your home uni and your destination uni, either it's Chula or any other uni in Thailand, they will provide you with most of what you need. One thing very important is the letter of admission. Having a letter that proves that you are accepted as a student here when you apply for the student visa is very important. And other than that, proof that like your deposit or something like where you're gonna stay, which our student dorm provided for us as well. And I would say that's pretty much it. Like obviously like pictures of yourself and
yeah, just like the standard. But everything is like really easily accessible, so you don't have to ask it from somewhere else, right?
No, I didn't even like send an email to ask for anything, or everything was through my uni and the process was really smooth. Yeah.
Good. Okay, the third question is, how long did it take to get your visa approved, and do you have tips for speeding up this process? So you said it was around a month, and you said 6 to 8 weeks, but is there a way we can speed it up? Do you know that?
I think there might be like the urgent visa, and I guess like because I don't remember the exact process, but I'm sure if you send an email or you call your embassy and you say like I'm leaving on this day, I screwed up, I need it right now, there must be some way to speed up the process, but I wouldn't know for sure.
And I also did in fact have some technical issues when I applied for the visa initially, and I also tried to find an email online, but the emails I found weren't quite responsive. So if you have any troubles time-wise or whatever, I would suggest maybe contact an embassy. But yeah, I mean, for me it wasn't a problem. The technical issue fixed themselves a few days later, so it was fine and I was in time. But I would just like to point out that it could happen that there are some struggles and they aren't as reachable as maybe other institutions or whatever.
Yeah, and like, you know about it in Thailand? I heard that you can like pay more and that you then be
Yeah.
helped faster.
So basically, as a student, you get like a 90-day stay visa. Like I arrived at the beginning of August and I had until the 31st of October to stay. But then you have to extend your visa. For example, for me, I was only staying one semester, so I had to prolong it like a few more months until December. The process usually is very bad handled, honestly. Like you have to, if you do it physically, you have to go to the Office of International Affairs or like the visa office, and you got like people usually got like 2-3 a.m. in the morning, and they have to do a line for like hours. Like most people that I know have stayed up until like 10, even 12 hours there,
Yeah,
because
crazy.
you have to like wait in line until they open up at 6 or 7, then they give you a number, and then you have to wait in another line, you get a QR, and then you can like look how much it like you have until your number gets called up. But it takes like so many hours. Myself, I was very lucky because I ran into some people I knew that had been waiting already for a few hours. So for me it only took 5 hours, which is supposed to be really short.
Wow, 5 hours.
So there is another option, which is doing an online process. That's through the BFS website. I guess we can like either leave the link on the
Yes,
description or something.
Of course.
Basically, you pay about 500 baht more, which is like 15 to 20 euros. And basically, with that, you need a little bit more specific documentation. But I think it's definitely worth it because you basically get an appointment, you show up, and it's like 15 minutes. Like
Yeah.
it's an actual appointment. Because otherwise, like the physical one, you can try to get an appointment, but basically the website doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So that's why we all have had to like show up and just do it on the site.
Yeah. There's also theoretically a third option, which some people chose to do, but it isn't either recommended by the university nor by myself or us. You could potentially apply, or simply when you leave the country with your student ED visa without requesting a re-entry beforehand, your ED visa would be invalid, and then you could request a normal tourist visa. But I wouldn't actually suggest it because it could lead to further complications. But this process is supposed to be way simpler. People just, when they re-entered the country after their travels, they simply went to the immigration and simply got their tourist stamp, and that's basically it. So, but yeah.
Yeah. We don't recommend that.
Yeah, but it is an option.
It is. Okay, the fourth question is, did you receive help from your university when applying for your visa? And if so, what kind of assistance did they provide?
In my case, I would say yeah. If you ask for help, they will always offer to the best of their abilities, I guess. In my case, for example, if you want to apply for the online visa, you, at least in our university, you needed to ask for a different letter because the original letter didn't include our passport numbers, and for the online application you need to have like certain information about yourself, and they like if you apply with the original documentation, they will decline the process and you will need to ask for further documents. So, and they will provide them.
Yes, for me it was everything was seamless, so I did not request any help, so I can't really say too much about that.
Yeah. Okay. Fifth question is, did you have to extend your visa during your stay? And what was the procedure for that? Well, we kind of already discussed that.
Yeah.
Or it's physical or it's online.
Yeah.
Physical is long waiting time. Online is faster.
But basically you will, like most likely you will have to extend your visa. Even if you're staying one semester or you're staying the whole year, you will have to. Because that's just how Thailand works. Yeah, they don't give out like the whole period from the beginning.
Yes.
Maybe one more thing. I would maybe in general suggest you to do it as early as possible, obviously. And I think the best way to deal with that is just to contact another person who's been maybe before you to Thailand like 1 year ago, and just ask them for instructions or tips because they might have all the chats. In our group, in our non-group, there was a very big discussions on challenges, tips and everything, and it was quite unclear what to do exactly. So I think the people who are most experienced are either the Sri Lankan offices, EBA, BBA, the departments, or the people who've been to Bangkok or Thailand the years before you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. The sixth question is, what are the most common problems or challenges you encountered when obtaining your visa? Or like other people that you know?
I can start. I mean, like I said, my process was very seamless. I only did have technical difficulties, but I think that's way too specific to go into detail about it now, because it resolved itself after a few days, so it was fine, and I think I can't say too much about that.
Yeah, for me, I would say just not having the right documents is like when you go to the physical one. I'm not too sure about the online, but you need to have it printed out. It's not enough to have like the virtual thing. So you like there's a list of everything you need. I can actually pull it up.
Is it like the CR30?
Yeah, there's a couple different forms. Let me just
Search it up.
yeah.
Like I know also like some Dutch girls also went to the office and they waited for 12 hours, but they didn't have the physical paper with them, so they got sent it home. You will not get help. You really have to have that paper.
So basically, to do a quick list of everything you should have the visa extension package with different forms that your university should provide for you, and you'll just have to fill them out. If you don't fill them out before, that you can do there because they'll just help you, give you a pen. Passport size photo, you can print it at any photocopy store. Your physical passport, a printed copy of your passport, of the ID page, and of the stamped page that you get when you arrive in Thailand for the first time, with the date that your visa is valid until. Then if you have a student ID card, you should bring it as well, and a printed copy. If that always helps. Then you need 1,900 baht in cash. It's very important. You have to bring it in cash. You need a TM30 form, at least for us. That's basically the form that your student dorm or like your accommodation should provide for you. If you are living in an independent housing, I'm not sure how that would work, but I guess you can just ask your university. And then printed visa, like the online, the e-visa that you received at first before coming to Thailand, you should also grab that. Other than that, also the dress code, it's quite important. You shouldn't wear slippers or shorts, just casual. But yeah.
That's a nice list. That's a nice list. I'm gonna write it somewhere. I'm gonna write it, I think, in the description. It's really important because if you miss document, then they can reject helping you. You know. I also heard of someone. He went to Vietnam, and when you put your name, it asks first name, but they mean all your first names. So if you have a first name, second name, third name, you need to put in all your names, because if you only put your first name and your surname, and they check it and you have a middle name, it's not valid.
Yeah.
They will reject it. So really think of all your first names. So if your name is like Nicholas, Michael, Jacko, something, put them all. Like
Yeah.
those are all your first names. If you don't, they will reject your visa. You have to do it again, and you have to wait longer.
Yeah, just put the ones that show up in your passport, like
Yeah.
in the documents you're bringing.
Yeah, that's really, really important. Okay. Number 7. Are there specific rules or restrictions you must follow while staying in Thailand on a student visa?
Yes, there are. I don't know what the case was for you, but I just got a single entry visa. I also never had the option to choose another visa, and I definitely would have if I had the option because I was traveling the whole time or a lot. Especially last month, I've been to Hong Kong, Singapore, and Vietnam. And what's very important about that is when you have a single entry visa, you always need to request a re-entry visa at the airport before you take the flight, before you leave the country. It takes about maybe half an hour or 1 hour. If I were you, I would go maybe 1 hour before your actual or original arrival time on the airport. Just make sure you don't miss your flight, and you have to bring 1,000 baht for the re-entry visa, which is about 25 to 30 euros today. And also you need to bring maybe 200 baht or like 200 baht to make a picture, or you can make visa pictures beforehand at another location. They have to be not digital but like real photos. You can give them at the place. And yeah, so I would the bottom line is I would definitely recommend you to request the multiple entry visa if you have the option. I didn't have, so I had to request a re-entry visa every time I left the country at the airport, which can be quite annoying and also adds up over the time when it comes to the expenses.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, about the illegal or like limits when you are in a student visa, I would just say like anything that's illegal, it's still illegal when you're in a student visa, even more so. And regarding the re-entry permits, yeah, basically I don't think I wasn't allowed either to apply for a re-entry permit before coming here. And you can do it, for example, when you go to your extension, you can also apply for the re-entry in that same moment. You can bring the document, they will handle it for you. There are two options. You can do the single re-entry, which will be 1,000 baht, like Alex said, or you can do multiple re-entry, which will be 3,800. So it's pretty much like the multiple re-entry is worth if you know 100% that you're gonna go outside of Thailand 4 times. If not, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, and then that'll allow you to go out of Thailand and come back in again with your same visa.
Oh, that's so nice. I did not know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the last question. What would you advise other students to do when applying for a visa for Thailand?
I mean, I already touched on that topic. I would definitely advise you to maybe contact your office at the Chulalongkorn University or whichever university you're going to, and ask them if you can request the multiple re-entry visa from the beginning onwards. It's way more practical. I was quite lucky. I just started traveling internationally like last month, so it was fine for me. But if you're planning to travel to many international countries from the beginning on, I would definitely suggest you do that because it's just way more time-wise. It's way more efficient and also not so costly.
Yeah, I would say just try to take your time, like don't leave it for the last day, even though a lot of us end up doing that, but just try to like do it in time and don't stress. Like everything works out in the end, most of the time. So just make sure you have the right documentation, like inform yourself, ask people, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I think like the don't stress part is really important. I also like we were in Koh Tao and a friend of mine, she was like struggling the whole time about her visa because she needed a letter from the university but didn't receive it yet, but she had her appointment like a few days later, so she really needed that letter and she was stressing so badly about it, and that's why she didn't really enjoy our trip. And then the day before the appointment she got the letter from the university and everything was just fine.
Yeah.
So don't stress, like it will be fine.
Yeah. And they're pretty chill here. Like in Thailand, bureaucracy is still bureaucracy. Like it's what Alex said. If you don't bring the right documents, they will not help you. But they're also like they're not super strict. So like everything works out in the end.
Yeah.
I would say we didn't talk about the prices, which I think people might be interested in that.
Yeah, of course.
So the original visa, like the one to get in the country for the first time, that costs 70 euros, if I remember correctly, at least for me, the non-ED type. And then the extension costs 1900, which is like close to 50 euros.
Yeah.
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 So the whole thing, and then the re-entry permits could be, if you get a single, would be 1,000 per trip, so 25 to 30 euros per trip, or 3,800, so 4,000 baht for the multi-entry, which is like unlimited. You can come and go as you please.
Want. Yeah. Okay. Do you have anything to add? Like anything to say? Like.
Thank you for listening to us.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for watching.
Okay.
If you need any info, feel free to leave my Instagram or whatever.
Yes.
If anyone needs any help.
Yes, and of course you can ask, like if you have like specific questions for one of these, you can also ask them in the comments, and I will let them know, and we will just answer your questions. And I wanted to say, thank you so much for watching this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Bye.